Good. Ooh, that one was on stream.
Yes,
Christy.
I did one!
Hey everybody, happy Tuesday. Welcome to Delve Requisite here on Proficiency Bonus. A couple of pieces of housekeeping business, as usual, before we get into tonight's episode. I would like to thank the sponsors of Proficiency Bonus and us here at Delve Requisite, Little Dragon Corp and Cardboard Castle Games. Little Dragon Corp, of course, is a Canadian-based dice company that sells, you guessed it, dice. You can get a link to their website by typing !Little Dragon in chat at any point during tonight's stream. And if you decide to buy anything from them, you can use our brand new promo code, which is just bonus. BONUS. That's right. We've taken 15% of the letters off of our promo code, and we've passed that savings on to you because our new promo code bonus will give you 15% off of your order, upgraded from 10% previously.
That's amazing, GG.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. I'm tapped for the night. Yeah. So thank you, Little Dragon Corp, for supporting Proficiency Bonus. We hope that you guys will use our code bonus to get save some money in your order. Cardboard Castle Games is a brick and mortar tabletop gaming store located in Evans, Georgia, here in the United States. If you are not local to Evans, Georgia, if you're not, you can order things from them online. You can get a link to their website by, oh god, I'm in my head already. ! CCG.
You did it.
Because it's Cardboard Castle
So
Games.
That's right. That's right. !
2 years I've been doing this. You'd think I'd have figured it out by now. CCG. To get a link to their website, please pay them a visit. If you're local to Evans, or just stop in, say hello, tell them we sent you. Thank you to Little Dragon Corp and Cardboard Castle Games. I'm going to turn it over to Brittany in just a second here to do our recap. I am going to take one itty bitty tiny pause before that. Not to go into any amount of depth or anything like that. I was saying to these guys before we started streaming that I wasn't even sure if it was appropriate for me to mention anything at all. I felt like at least something should be said. But I'm going to keep it brief, as I am no one and I have nothing important to say ever. But we do just want to extend our hearts for a moment to some people who have suffered an unimaginable tragedy, and sadly one that is all too familiar for those of us who are living in the haunted wasteland that is the United States of America. I have nothing more to say. Our hearts go out. And if nothing else, hopefully our little oasis of escapism and make believe that does so much for us can be something that is a little bit of a bright spot for somebody else who might need it tonight. And that's I'm not even qualified to have said that, but that's all I feel qualified to have said. So thank you for being here with us tonight, if you are. I will shut up now, and we'll play some D&D. Let's pretend to be fucking wizards and elves for a few hours. All right, Brittany.
I do that every day.
Gross. Take us away. You pretend to be neither a wizard nor an elf.
Not on stream, but all the other times.
Yikes. Okay. Brittany, go ahead. Take us away with a recap.
Last time with Grimm's Folly crew, Captain Macbeth Murderbeard opened up about his newfound powers to the rest of the officer corps on the Grimm's Folly by revealing the chained tattoos across his skin before he was visited by the ghost, or whatever it was, of Captain Thorne, who warned Macbeth that the power, of course, comes with a price. When the food on board the ship is also sabotaged, Coral Halfhand comes to tell Rowan about this, who, immediately realizing beyond her scope, tells the rest of the crew, and they begin to try to figure out who's to blame. The unexpected culprit is a crab that the group had encountered a while back, and rather than thinking through things, they fed it to the Sahuagin priestess on their ship as a snack and as an apology for accusing her for the previous sabotage attempts. And they got on with their trip to Naporia, where they were soon whisked away to Terra Libra by the bookkeepers. And that is where we left off last time.
Okay. So that is where we left off. It's not where we're going to pick up, however. As an extremely long-winded discussion behind the scenes took place between this week and last week. Sometimes as a DM, when you're running a campaign that has two simultaneous groups and you are really worried about trying to get them to a meeting point at the same time, you fucking blow it on the ending of a session. So
Don't talk
we
about
are
our
going
DM
to
like that.
we are going to we're gonna proceed forward. I know I've been saying like every week for the past 4 weeks that like maybe next week is the week that the groups get together. We're gonna proceed from now on as it'll happen when it happens, and we're just gonna we're gonna let everybody do their thing. Because we finished last session. We did not get to spend any time in Naporia, and I was real unhappy with it, and the players are real unhappy with it, and that's where we're at. So we're gonna take a quick rewind. We're going to rewind to the exact moment of crab bits, little pieces of shell fly everywhere as your Sahuagin priestess captive friend, who knows, devours that crab that you had given. And all of you are like standing there, like hearts pounding in your chests, like vindication, like, yeah, fuck that crab, that crab was doing sabotage to us, crabotage. It had a Gilbert Godfrey voice, like, oh, justice. And then you collectively, you guys start to realize the fuck?
Yeah, what the fuck?
That doesn't make any sense. You kind of look at Kier. She has one little crab claw kind of hanging from her jaws, and she's sort of staring at you. And you all kind of have this sense, almost like when you have a real weird dream, but while you're asleep, everything seems to make perfect sense in your dream logic. But then you wake up and you're like, huh? That none of that worked. None of that checks out. You start to get this sense while perfectly awake of everything that just happened with hunting down a literal crab that had apparently the sentience to be has been hiding aboard your ship. And that's sort of where we pick up tonight.
Not to dampen the spirits of our success here, but normally crabs don't have the capacity for revenge, let alone any thought beyond what they are going to eat next or who they're going to fight next.
Yeah, it's very what the fuck.
See, I don't deal with crabs a lot, but I think you're right.
No, he was incredibly self-aware.
Lexus is just standing there, completely silent, scratching his head.
The forethought, the planning.
Dolphins can do things like that. Don't ever mess with a dolphin, but not a crab.
Premeditated murder.
Also, maybe we want to double look into some safety around here. If a single crab can crush somebody with a cannon, maybe we want to recheck all of our
How are we gonna?
Are we looking for more crabs? Like,
Yeah, like your monkey's gone
Well, he's gone for now.
for now, but like he's the only one who could reasonably fit into those spaces unless Sela goes in as something, and then if she gets stabbed by another what am I saying?
No,
She
I'm,
gets
I'm not
stabbed
saying
with
we look for more crabs. I'm saying maybe we tie some cannons down a little better.
I think the issue is less that we need to tie our cannons down better and more that we need to look into what
yeah, I'm
happened.
going to say, I don't
Someone-
think it matters how good our ties were. The crab seemed to be able to figure it out on its own, regardless of how many ropes there were.
He did also have a knife, which was
Well-
also weird.
Quick clarifying question for you, Nimue. When you mentally link to somebody, they have to be like somebody, right? Like
You
they
have to
be able to.
understand the language.
And you were able to mentally link with the crab.
Yeah.
So somebody or
Maybe.
some force awoke its mind.
It was very sentient. That's the only thing I can possibly explain it. Like, it was like talking to you, but he was an asshole.
So, like talking to me.
He was always an asshole, though. He was always an asshole, no matter what came out of his mouth.
Interesting.
Mandibles, technically, I think.
Mandibles.
Just grab anatomy for you.
It also he was
Probably
holding a
correct.
knife. What is logic right now?
Yeah, I seem to hear a disembodied voice interrupting right now.
It's Naporia from
It's
outside
fine.
the
I'm
room.
hearing voices. It's
Yeah,
fine.
Apora's like standing behind like the steps behind. She's like mandibles, technically.
Okay, Apura.
It's irrelevant. Sorry.
So I think that sure we can tell the crew to be more watchful of the things that they're doing, but that is only going to help so much. Instead, I think we need to check what is targeting us and how that happened. If we're even being targeted, or did it just happen to that crab?
My concern is if someone or something woke the crab up, is that someone or something here? Or is it where we found the crab originally? Like, when did this start?
Well, he
Because-
did
What
talk
even
when we
wakes
first met him.
Yeah, because I had speak with animals on.
She used a spell for that. We didn't hear him.
But did he speak like crabby or like a sentient creature?
If I
So
remember correctly, he just like wanted to fight and was also like a little bit zesty.
what I will remind you of, because like you've used speak with animals a couple of times, and like I guess into sort of like the DM flavor of it, right? Like the animals conversations you have like generally tend to be pretty like on par with like what level of intelligence an animal could possess. When you talked to this crab the first time, like he was also like a kind of sentient Gilbert Gottfried crab that like was kind of sassy to you, and then like you threw him off the boat and he vowed revenge, which is odd. And now that you're sort of like thinking about it, again, you get that sense that you're like, what? Like, why did I just accept that like was fine? And you can't help this sense that like something is not right with your like sense of perception, specifically as it relates to that crab.
Can I?
Crab was definitely awakened, but I didn't. Maybe we were just so busy trying to get in where the Sahagin were that I just didn't at the time realize it. But now looking back, the crab was different.
We should probably discuss this somewhere else, because in Rowan's head, she's looking at Kier.
Hey,
Ooh, make an
can
insight
you-
check. Make an
Can
insight
you
check.
awaken
Yeah, insight check.
crabs?
Insight check on Kier right now, because I don't.
Wait, I need to do that too, but I don't have my dice. Hold on.
I have to That's only a 14
I
insight
also
check
forgot to
for
take my
me.
dice out.
Yeah. Anybody wants to make an
fine.
insight check?
Somebody help me with this, please.
Okay. I'll try.
I got a 14, and I don't trust this creature.
I'll do an insight.
I got a 14 plus 3, so 17.
Okay.
Because we're talking about this in front of her, like, so my brain's like,
I
I
know.
rolled
Yeah.
a nat 1. I don't know shit about anything.
Oh.
Well, my
Hold
D&D
on,
Beyond
guys, give
character
me a
is
second.
not
I can do
rolling. I'm
this.
gonna have to get dice out now because my
It's not working?
it's not rolling.
That's weird. Hang on.
Michael hacked the system.
Did you refresh it? Mine
Michael
works.
hacked this. Oh, there it
Oh,
is. No,
sorry,
Nimue
I'll
just
put it-
rolled. Never
That's
mind.
fine. I was trying to see if it was a sight thing.
Michael hacks the system, but only to make the system not work for him.
Yeah.
It's not
Use
working.
real dice.
Yeah.
Sorry, buddy.
It's been a long time since I rolled real dice.
Catch the fever.
Here we go.
Insight?
Wait, insight.
Oh wow.
17.
18 plus 1 for a 19.
Damn!
Wow.
Yes.
So
Real
our,
That's why you
dice,
use
Michael.
real dice, boy.
our 19 was our
That's
best
the only
one,
time
right?
that'll happen.
Okay.
His 19 was the highest, yeah, I think.
And then 17, and
Okay.
14.
14.
So you guys kind of like Rowan is like, can we have this conversation elsewhere? Because like, and like, Kier, who is just like standing there, still has like a crab claw hanging out of her jaws. You guys kind of like look at her like suspicious. Very hard to read because she has like sort of those like black like shark doll eyes.
Shark doll.
she's just got like a blank expression on her face. She's just like like sort of like staring at the group of you. Thyxis, with your insight roll, you like when you guys explained to her that like a crab like smashed one of your crewmen's legs with a cannon and like poisoned all your food and was like successfully running like a sabotage campaign, like she has had this attitude of like such like amusement and joy at like how stupid you guys all like have been made to look by like a crab, and like was more than happy to like devour this thing. That sort of like demeanor of like amusement at your guys' expense is kind of gone now. She's just sort of like watching you guys. You get the sense that she's like, you've sort of seen this before a little bit from her. When you've like caught her, she kind of like sometimes she comes up from the build and she like lurks around and she'll like look at the orcs, or she'll watch Nimue do her like katas and stuff like that. But you get this like she has this look on her face that you've seen before that you interpret as like her look of like gathering, like intelligence gathering. And she's just like watching you guys as you like talk and puzzle this out.
So she might know more common than she lets on. Because every time we've talked to her, Nimue's had to mind link with her.
Even with that 19, hard to say. She's not necessarily giving away that she like understands what's being said. You just like she's just like watching you very intently.
Body language and stuff, probably.
Yeah, perhaps you're all right. Maybe we should take this
Not
conversation upstairs.
Yeah.
Okay. You guys go, easily go upstairs. As you like all turn and kind of leave, she just sort of like goes back to her little like altar to Sekola that she has set up down there, and just sort of like goes back to her like reverie, and dismisses you guys as being like, okay, this conversation's done with them.
Is there anybody else we want to include in this conversation? Or just us?
Probably a Naporia is on. Solely because it's going to be a safety issue when we leave them.
I also feel like we should... she's probably around anyway, but we should bring Tea Kettle in, because Tea Kettle sees things that nobody else does.
Oh my god, you just unlocked the memory of Tea Kettle being disgusting and telling Likes is something
Oh, yeah.
absolutely cursed.
Maybe we don't. Maybe we don't.
Already found Tea Kettle. She's coming with.
I don't think Murderbeard wasn't there for that though. I don't think.
Nope,
No,
that
we
was
don't
that
know
was
that.
in the
Only
crow's nest
Lixus.
between Tea Kettle and Thyxus.
Only Lixus knows.
Thixus knows a lot of things that the rest of us don't.
Okay, we get tea kettle and a port on and we go into the captain's quarters.
Yep.
Someone tell me no if I'm wrong.
Nope,
No,
yep.
that's right.
Oh, it's good.
2 of them are there. I mean, Naporia kind of knows what's up because she was with you guys when you went down and talked to and like got the crab and then was with you when you gave it to
Yeah, I mean,
Kier.
we'll quickly explain everything to Tea Kettle.
You like explain all this and Tea Kettle's like. After you finish, Tea Kettle just goes like, "You what, mate?"
Look, Kettle, are you telling me you had no idea that crab was on this ship?
Not me.
Yeah, fair enough. I believe you.
Tea Kettle.
Tea Kettle like Tea Kettle points upward and makes like a like eagle sound, like as if to be like I'm way up there. I don't like.
Kind of like down here's your territory, you dumb idiots. Like,
Yeah.
we're being judged by Tea Kettle too.
Yeah, we're always being judged by Tea Kettle. It's okay.
Well, I think even if you are up there, tea kettle, if we are gone and it is just the rest of you on the ship, it might be wise to keep an eye out for any other suspicious animals. They could come from land, sea, or air. What if an eagle were to swoop down on you and try to kill you in the crow's nest? What would you even do? You would not have known. It would have plucked you off like a little mouse in the field.
Tea Kettle makes like the perfect imitation of like a crossbow being like notched and just firing into something, and then like cracks her bird knuckles.
Yeah.
Tea Kettle makes a shotgun racking noise.
Tea Kettle goes.
Fair point.
Very fair.
Apora is like, despite the extremely bizarre events of the last 20 minutes or so, it seems perhaps the best course of action is continued vigilance, and when you go to visit the bookkeepers, it is another thing to inquire about with them.
Rowan, that magic scan thing you did on me, were you able to do that on anybody else? Maybe see if there's... Because we all seem to be confused as to why we didn't think anything was weird with that. So I'm thinking maybe there's a reason why we didn't.
Well, it's... The spell has certain limitations and things about it, but I could definitely give the ship a walk.
Are we talking about looking for magic or looking for, like, evil? Because I can also look for magic.
If you look
Maybe
for
both.
magic, and I look
Maybe
for evil
both.
and good.
Yeah, that might be good. Just scan the ship to make sure that there's
Start
nothing
on
else
the left.
residual still here.
You know, if we wanted to go, like, under the ship, I could cast it and turn into, like, a dolphin, and then Rowan, when you're done in the ship, you can jump off and I can take you underneath.
Look at her face!
If that's
Seems
what
like-
we want to do,
Seems
can
like an
take my
overly
armor off.
complicated way of doing it, but
No, I'm good
Go for it.
But that
I
is that is because certain, like, amounts of material can block the spells.
I do need to go under the ship. She's right. It's a process taking all the armor off and putting it back on again, but we can definitely do that. If that's what we all want to do.
Alright, I can help you guys. Like with the armor and shit.
Yeah, I'll be okay until it's time to jump off, but
Okay.
is that what we're doing right now? Or
scanning the shit.
I think, well, we decided we're not going back to Naporia until we're sure that everything's clear, right? And we are not sure now because, yes, the crab is gone, but like, where the fuck did it come from?
The strange thing too is that it came out of the sea from, I believe, the Trident.
Yes.
And so then that means that it was already like that. Did I do that? There's no way that I did that. I talked to a seagull afterward, and it was an asshole and not helpful and very much a seagull.
I think the concern that I had with talking downstairs was we found the crab, that same crab, when we found Kier, when we fought the Sahagin. It could be tied to her. She could be actually part of the problem, or she could be something from that area could be part of the problem, or it could be something else entirely, but
Why
do
have
need
all
to
the
look-
animals we've spoken to been assholes so far?
because
I
we're on the
don't know.
ocean. It's tough out here.
That's true. It's very tough out here.
If we want to do a scan of the ship, I can definitely do that. And then I can go under with CeeLo.
Yep, just let me know when you're ready to go down, and then I can cast my magic spell and then turn into a dolphin, and then we can take a look.
Laura, can you, while we're doing this, think of anyone on the ship who might have been acting weirdly lately? I know we've had this discussion before, but
Context?
like
How
times have changed.
define lately? Since your first
the
encounter
cannon.
with the crab?
Since the cannon.
Since the
I think.
cannon. I will think on it.
Also, if there's anyone you think who is smarter or craftier than they appear,
Yeah.
you know, somebody who might be hiding some sort of magic use ability.
So if you are going to ask, like, the context of lately, is there someone who has been acting strange this whole time?
We
Poor
wouldn't know
kind
the
of
difference, would we?
Naporia sort of shakes their head and says, No, I just want to define the parameters of how far back I should be casting my thought exercises.
I think if someone's been acting weird the whole time, we wouldn't know the difference. I'm hoping that there's been clues since things have started to go wrong on the ship.
Which we are defining as the cannon incident.
Unless anyone has a better timeline idea.
That's like the first main thing that went wrong, right?
I mean, we could maybe put it as far back as when we brought Kier on board, but everyone got a little freaked out by bringing Kier on board, so it'd be kind of hard to
from the
say it's
start
not.
of the crab, like from like around that time of when we first met the crab, because
Well,
the
that
crab
was the
must
same
have already
time.
had
Crab-
sentience.
We met the crab
We
the
met the
same
crab
day.
right before we
right
went
before
into
we
the
met Kier.
Sahagin.
Okay, so
Crab-
Crab,
from there.
crab was slightly
Together.
before Kier.
Like,
Like
yeah,
immediately
a
before.
fight.
Yes.
What was
Like-
around before here? Before the crab?
To the notes.
When we found that guy, we found the guy who used to be the guard, and we found like the wreckage of the ships, because he was
Gregory.
like, we got attacked by Sahagin, and we were like, oh shit, what did they want? Because he was like, they wanted our cargo.
That was what led you to this Hodgins, Gregory, who is
Yeah.
still on board the ship.
Yeah.
Was that Eldon or Gregory? I keep.
It was Eldon at first, and then I realized it was the wrong guy.
Okay.
Or maybe it wasn't. Maybe I'm wrong. No, I'm pretty sure it's Gregory.
Gregory's the one who left.
Okay.
Yeah. Gregory. I think I said he was Eldon to the first, and then I had to correct myself later. Yes, it is Gregory. Who has been kind of with you guys since then, because he's like, oh, I guess I'll just sail with you guys.
I guess in and around that
mean-
time frame.
I think I would feel a lot better if we lose Kier right away at the earliest opportunity.
Where would we put her?
We can't leave her on Naporia.
Nope, that won't work.
And we're leaving as soon as we get back to Naporia. We're leaving for Terra Libra.
You can perhaps allow her to remain on the ship and take precautions to keep watch over her more closely.
I think there should be at least 2 people watching her at all times. She has magic.
It sense a disturbance in the force.
I can arrange for this. I have a dog.
Dog butt.
Dog
Dog
butts.
butt. Dog butt.
Poor boy. I can arrange to have a watch placed on the bilge to ensure the sergeant priestess is not interfering with anything.
Works for me. Alright, ladies, shall we scan the ship? Just be sure.
Yep. I can do that. I'm just making a note for myself to make sure I have Gregory and not Eldon in the notes. Okay, I will walk out of the captain's quarters and I'll walk to the very front of the ship and I will cast Detect Evil and Good, and that lasts for 10 minutes. I want to walk.
Yeah, so what I'll do here, because I'm gonna save this from becoming an hour and 45 minutes of a second session. All of your guys' like scans, magical and non-magical and everything, like you turn up no disturbances in the force on the boat. There is nothing. You don't detect anything. Pinging is like evil on the boat. You don't detect any magic outside of like what you would expect to detect on the boat. Like the sails are enchanted. Your various party members have some magical stuff. But there's no like hidden thing that you guys find as you scan the ship pretty thoroughly. That probably takes you a little bit of a while to do between the two of you. There absolutely is one of those like those like felt posters from when you were like in grade school that had like a magical cove and you would color them in and they definitely had like a dolphin unicorn like jumping in front of the moon. Like that definitely happens, but it's Sela and Rowan at some point.
Oh my god, yes, please!
But you're unable to determine anything of like additional suspicion, once you guys like reconvene, Pora basically says, I am concerned that if we do not make the rest of the way to Naporia, the group of you will miss your rendezvous with the bookkeepers. I know that your contact gave their word that she would stave them off as long as possible, but that may only go so far.
Yeah, let's go. Everything came back negative, so that's good, I guess.
Alrighty. Go ahead.
Just before we move on, I'll say to the group after we've done all the scans, and I'll ask Naporia if he thought of anybody being weird. But I should ask everybody, do we think it's safe to go to Naporia? Or safe enough to keep going that direction for now?
I mean, Naporia knows how to take care of itself, for the most part. I mean, Empire outstanding. But I think it should be okay, at least if we keep the Grimm's Folly offshore, maybe? And we just take a small boat in. Just in case.
You have the sequel.
Yeah.
We do
No,
the
it's the
sequel.
Don't Try Us now. Different boat.
Oh, yeah.
We'll try us the sequel.
Hey, Captain, can I borrow your spyglass?
Sure.
I will go
But if you
outside
break it, I will kill you.
Now that somebody mentioned, is it safe to go to Naporia? Thixus would like to look behind the vessel to make sure that none of those ships that were remaining have followed us.
Sure. Make a perception check.
All right.
Oh man, if they've been following this whole time and nobody noticed, it's real bad in our jobs.
I mean, I'm sure we're being covered, but oh gosh, why haven't I been rolling real dice this whole time?
That's what I've been
I
saying.
don't know, man. D&D Beyond
one.
Dice Roller sucks.
19 plus 1 for a 20.
Horizon is clear on in all directions. You guys are pretty certain that you guys made a clean getaway.
I see something. Oh wait, that's just dirt. Clean off your spyglass.
Had you rolled like a 1, that's exactly what I was gonna do. I was gonna have you think there was a ship. I was gonna be like, "There's a ship right behind you on the horizon," and then you're gonna be like, "Ah!" And then I'll be like, "Oh, it's dirt, dirt on the lens." So yeah, perfectly clear. You guys think you're pretty sure you're.
Can I ask like a spell component question?
Sure.
So I have access to the spell divination, which requires a incense and a sacrificial offering worth at least 25 gold pieces. And it gets consumed by the spell, but I can then ask a question about an event happening within the next 7 days. Would Naporia have that? Could I get that and ask, is the Grimm's Folly gonna get sabotaged in the next 7 days?
Center, probably.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sacrifices Nimue for the spell.
Just take you to my spiritual leaders. They probably have.
That's how we
that
find
shit.
out that Nimue was only worth 22 gold pieces.
Damn!
Like, oh no.
No, it's 59,420.
There you
gold
go.
Point.
There you go. Yeah.
Didn't I get like 250 for you? Not direct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Naporia
yeah.
into converted currency exchange. Yeah, it doesn't work out very well.
Thixus is worth like a coupon to like a
Arby's.
fantasy
Yes,
Arby's.
It's Arby's. 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 The pirate roast beef stick.
Hang on, now we have to write that down.
And it hits you with wild magic on the way out.
Pick me up a beef and cheddar.
Your whole stomach just gets wild magic.
Okay. So you guys proceed your sailing. You come up with a plan for a pirate themed restaurant chain that you're pretty sure if this whole sailing the high seas marauding thing doesn't work out, you can fall back on that. And you you arrive at Naporia after another day or so of sailing. The little village looks much the same as it had before. You can see that the wreckage of the Ignean ship that got kaiju squashed by the Spirit Island has been dismantled and removed.
Nice.
They've covered up the evidence, as it were. And you guys sail into port. We'll call it just before midday when you guys sail into the town on one of the two towns. On the Don't Try Us.
Repairs really bad.
Yes. Well, apparently we're doing an evening town. I guess it's I can't pick certain things about the Let's see. There we go. Okay. Much better. You guys pull into port. You leave the Grimm's Folly out in the harbor. You take the Don't Try Us in, and you arrive on shore without incident. The town that you guys are in. I'm trying to pop up the Naporia map for you. Naporia map, such as it is. I'll zoom in a little bit for you. Oop. Okay. You guys want to go? You guys have been spending most of your time at the village of Cosimo, which is the one sort of towards the north there. So we'll say you guys pull your ship in and dock at the docks at the village of Cosimo there, instead of the village of Hideki down like further to the south. And the day is yours as you return to Naporia.
Okay. Guess we need to start getting arrangements to get this ship repaired. Murderbeard, we need to take you to the spiritual center, and since we're already there, it might be good for Sila to pick up some supplies. So maybe we head to the spiritual temple? I can
handle ship repairs.
Yeah? Alright.
Yeah.
I can stay with Ixis for that too. I don't think we all need to go on the trip. Maybe I can learn how to help fix the ship and take spots.
Well, I was kind of hoping we could find somebody that we could pay to do it.
Oh no, we're gonna pay somebody to do it correctly.
Yeah.
I just meant that
I know nothing about ship repairs. I can just talk to somebody into doing it for us.
Yeah, and I'll be with you for backup, and I can watch them and pretend I'm learning things.
You guys hear? And you like turn, and Anna Cromwell is standing there, and she's like, that's actually what you pay me for, in case you sort of forgot.
Oh yeah.
Happy to have you come with me. I do know how to fix the boat. Entirely my profession, as it were.
Maybe we get help so we can get it done faster before we come back to take the ship.
Oh no, we absolutely ought to hire some Naporian builders. Just friendly reminder that. I
was going to say, this is a Naporian vessel, correct? Is it have a very specialized craftsmanship that needs to, I'm not questioning your ability. I'm just saying.
We've also got to do some repairs on the Grimm's Folly. Also took some damage in the battle. But absolutely, if we can bring some extra hands on from the Naporians, we should do so. Just wanted to let you know. She takes out she whips out a scroll. She's like, already got the list of all the supplies you'll need for repairing both vessels. Literally my entire job. So I can absolutely help you there.
Rowan, this is great. But we can't let her see that.
What?
That's not a problem for Rowan. She doesn't like Anna, so she's just like Rowan
Thanks,
has
it just goes Thanks just after whispering to Rowan just goes like this. Great. Get on it. And then walks away.
I just smirk and follow Thanks.
She goes like,
hey, I'll think he's the nice one on the ship.
All right, weird vibes today. Fair enough.
Thanks, it's really impressive the way you can talk with your foot planted firmly in your mouth.
Okay, so so as I'm to understand this, you are sending her to go deal with the sequel and the repairs of the Grimm's Folly, as opposed to going together as a group.
No, I would walk out and I
okay.
would do it with Rowan. I'm just telling her to get started on all this list that she's got.
Gotcha.
He was trying to be dismissive and a little bit yeah, whatever to her, and it.
I'm sure.
Good, get on it, and then they all have to get on the same small boat to go to the island anyway.
It's fine. I'm here. It's fine.
Okay, cool. So anything else aboard the Grimm's Folly itself before you guys set sail for the dock here?
I don't think so.
Okay. So everybody, the whole party, right, is going, plus Anna Cromwell.
Matt, I did have a quick question to ask you
Yeah.
first. That message from Victoria made me think of it. The money that was loaned to Thyxus to buy the components, I believe, was
It
what?
was like the potion components. Oh my god, the potion!
Yeah. Yeah, the potions. Yeah, that too.
You got the stuff for the potions.
Yeah, but I don't think I ever got like how much it cost.
She did not charge you for them.
She
She
gave
them
it
to
for
you
free.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So Thyxus never gave that back. That's right. Thyxus would have probably forgotten.
I never even said I was gonna make the potions. We don't have any freaking potions still. Soon, guys, soon.
You have downtime here on Naporia, so you can say like if that's the thing that Seela's gonna do, you can do that. That's no problem.
Should we also bring like the orcs because they were supposed to come with us?
Yes, they would like to come because they want to go ashore. Anna Cromwell is gonna come ashore. Let me just see anybody else who is still physically on the ship who but Gregory would does want to come ashore with you guys because he's basically like I as much as I've enjoyed sailing around, I think I've had my fill of the high seas for now. I might like to catch a portal if it would suit you to Terra Libra and continue my travels that way. So he's going to come aboard as well, and I believe that's who's coming aboard. Everybody else is fine staying on the ship for now. Cool. So you guys, oh, it's nighttime ambiance again. That's okay. There's daytime owls on Naporia apparently. The group of you sail aboard the docks. So where is everybody heading? So Thyxus, Rowan, you guys are like heading in the direction with Anna Cromwell, of like to the sort of like whatever their version of like shipyard, to like get supplies, correct? Okay.
Very awkwardly not talking to one another. Yes.
Sure.
And also we probably want to get more supplies just for the ship in general since all of our food went bad.
Yeah, we'll like mostly we'll handle it.
Oh wait,
purify those?
Wait, yeah, no, Scylla literally has access to purified food and drink, so because we were talking about that last time, so I would have fixed it.
Yeah. Not a problem. You guys can kind of restock and all that stuff. And like Naporia is not going to charge you for most of this stuff. The supplies for the ship will be a different story, but like for food and things like that, like they would have covered you anyway. So I think it's we can hand wave. Is Nimue bringing Murderbeard to Minako in the temple? Is that what I heard earlier?
I think I'm also taking Scylla to Minako because like the spiritual help with supplies on that front as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm taking both of them to the spiritual center.
Cool. All right, then we've got two sort of separate groups here. Let's go with Rowan and Thyxus and Anna first. You guys kind of make your way a ways down make your way downtown. You're walking fast.
Thank you.
Naporians pass, and you are shipyard bound. Naporia doesn't have a shipyard so much as it does it has a like a place where they kind of like commonly keep a lot of the materials that the various like fishermen and stuff like that use to it's sort of like a communal supply area type of deal. But you head over there and you do see there does like you see somebody who does kind of like look like they seem to be in charge of things over here, as they are. You see them kind of going about inventorying some of the things. You definitely notice as you come in like some of the stuff, some of the like the lumber and things in their stock here currently. Definitely has the look of a recently dismantled ship that got smashed by an island monster. And as you guys approach, he sort of turns to you and says, "Good morning, good afternoon." Looks at the sun. Close enough. What can I do for you?
Oh, good afternoon. You look like the one that we need to be talking to.
Uh, yes. My name is Genry. I am in charge of keeping the materials here accounted for. It's we use it to repair our various fishing vessels. He says you're the crew of the large galleon that bears our one of our leaders' daughter aboarded. Yes, I recognize you well.
Yes. That's us. That's us. We have here with us an expert, and I look at Anna, in ship repairs, and has put together a list of materials that we would need in order to fix our vessels. Um, Can we is there a way you can look over this list and see if you have these parts in stock and perhaps tools and maybe even some manpower to help us out with putting together and repairing these vessels?
He says, "Oh, certainly." He says you have a list, and Anna Cromwell steps up. She says, I do. Right here we've got two vessels actually.
Thixis is going to do this. As she goes to hand it, I'm going to take it from her
Okay, make a sleight
and
of
then
hand check.
hand it. Okay.
As much as Roa doesn't like Anna, she's a little bit upset by this. She's like,
7.
She rolls a 19, so you like reach out to do this, and she goes like and like slaps your hand. She goes, "Boy, we are going to have a conversation after this." And she hands the list to him, and she goes, "I'm the Grimm's Folly's bosun. She says we need that list of repairs for the larger galleon. It's of Ignean make. I do see you've got some material here salvaged from that other Ignean ship. I would like to requisition or negotiate the purchase of some of that. We also have the ship we sailed into the harbor on, which is of your own people's design. So I assume we should have no problem with the materials for there. But it's all listed there, what we need. So if we are able to work up what the price would be, I'll bring that back to the captain and the other officers and see what we can do about payment." And he kind of takes this. He says, "Oh, yes." And he says, he kind of looks through. He says, "I believe we have all of this." He says, "You'll have to give me a little bit of time to look through, make sure we have everything, and get all of this together. But that should be no problem at all." He goes, "Well, thank you kindly. I appreciate it." And he sort of like turns around. She like turns back and she looks at you, Thixis, for a second, and she goes like, and then she turns to you, Rowan, and she goes, "I'm sensing that he's sort of following your lead,
I've said
and I'm
nothing
not
this whole time."
sure." Just I'm not sure what exactly it is that I've done to offend you. But if there is something that we need to work out, I'd very much like to do that. I enjoy working aboard the ship, but I do not know why it is that you seem to have such a problem with me, Miss Rowan.
Well, you see, Anna, part of it right now, at least, is that we've had issues on the ship. And so anyone I don't inherently trust with my life and have not put my life in their hands before, I have to look at with some suspicion. That includes you. It includes all of the crew. I don't know everybody, so I'm careful. I've been screwed over before. Adding in, admittedly, my own issues from way back when, I just don't know how I feel about your hometown.
She kind of arches an eyebrow. She says, "All right, hometown thing first, I think. What? I don't know that I understand. What it is about
From there is an asshole,
where?"
including me.
She says, "Ah."
I left for a reason. And I thought somewhere in the middle of the world, I would never have to run into somebody from there again. So that's my bad.
She says, alright, so some baggage, about back home. She says, had it occurred to you, Miss Rowan, that I also left for a reason?
I
She
assumed as much.
she gestures around. She's like, I'm on the same pirate ship you are.
That's fair. But again, I admit that that was my bad, but it doesn't change the fact that I don't know you. And I'm not quite sure who to trust right now beyond the officers on the ship. So you'll have to forgive me for being careful considering how many times I've nearly died since I left home.
Because I'm happy to forgive you for anything, but I would point out, you don't know me because you haven't taken the time to know me.
Have you taken the time to learn about any of us?
Says, I know a great deal about all of you. She says, you say you don't trust people that you haven't put your life in their hands, but Miss Rowan, I've been keeping the Grimm's Folly afloat for the entire time I've been sailing with you these last several weeks. It's a good ship, and I like the crew. She says, but every conversation we've had so far, you've made it very clear that you don't like me. And I don't think I've done anything to earn that, if we're being fair. She says, we don't have to be BFFs. All I'm saying is, I'm aboard this ship because, frankly, I believe in what you and the other officers and the captain stand for, as far as I can see. Smacking Ignians around left and right. That's something that I can get behind. I'd like to stay aboard the ship. And I don't know. I think if you were willing to put past the fact that we happen to be from the same city, I think you'd find that I'm not all that difficult to get along with.
Matt, do I believe her?
Roll insight.
I'm gonna let Thixis do this before as I think about what to respond with.
17
Thank you,
plus
Michael.
1 for an 18.
Yeah, she seems perfectly earnest.
Look at those real dice!
This has
It's
been
not
his
rolling
problem.
fake dice, Michael. Jesus.
Turns out his problem all along has been D&D Beyond.
I doubt that.
Yeah, no, she seems perfectly earnest. She you can tell that insight roll is high enough that like you can tell that like the fact that you guys were kind of mean girlsing her for like a while has been sort of bugging her. And she's like, you get the sense that she's honestly like,
What did I
just
do?
I just want to fix the boat, like.
Like, will kind of look at Rowan and look back at her and say, listen, when we get the parts, tell me how I can help fix the boat. I want to learn something about fixing the boat.
He says, absolutely. And I mean no offense by this. I'm not going to let you handle any sharp tools. But I will absolutely take you up on that offer and instruct you.
And by the way, I did want to mention, spelled cleat wrong. It has an A in it. And then Thixis will walk away.
She's like, I don't... He's an enigma wrapped in a mystery. And I kind of like it. It does it for me a little bit, and I hate that it does. But anyway, she turns back and like looks to you, Rowan.
Rowan has gone from being ready to apologize to horrified, and now does not know what to do. First off, you're right. I was being an ass of the degree of our hometown that I was trying to get away from by freezing you out, and I apologize. Again, everyone I've trusted up until this group has tried to kill me. So, I'm just a little bit paranoid. I own it, and I apologize for it. I'll do better about that, and I will speak to the other officers to make sure that stops, including Thixus. However, do me a favor and don't tell me what does it for you ever again, because I'm very protective of him, and if that's what you want, you can try, but I don't need to know.
Strictly professional relationship from here on out. Check. Absolutely understood.
Victoria's gone. Me and Vic are just like, what is happening? I'm losing my mind right now.
So cute. I love it. That was great.
I will hold my hand out to her as a handshake and fresh start kind of motion.
She shakes your hand and she says, Miss Rowan, I am perfectly happy to never again, for as long as we're both alive, talk about the geographical commonality that we have between us.
As you said, we both left it for a reason.
She nods and she says, but if ever you... never mind. She goes, if ever you think talking to somebody about the things that you're trying to let go, get a little closure, someone who at least knows where you're talking about, I'd be perfectly happy to listen, and you can rest assured that there's like a lock and key motion.
I smile and nod. I'll do the same for you. Might need a drink or two first, but same.
Juggle. Which is fair enough. As well, I will see to the supplies here. If you've got other business on the island, I wouldn't let yourself get caught up here.
I'm gonna go check on Thixus and check his responses. I think he followed my lead a little too hard back there, so I'm gonna go try to set him straight first, really quick, and then
she smiles and she's like,
he's a sweet.
She's like, he is definitely. She says, "Oh goodness, there's a pirate. It's a pirate expression for this. They Thixus is what you would call a sailor die bitch, and through and through. And you have to at least respect that."
Indeed, and I smile, walk away, and just go, oh my fucking god, what did I just do? Rowan's walking across after where Thixus went, like with her head down, like, oh my god, 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 oh my god. And she's also thinking, I need a ring, I need to tell Nimue what I just found out. She's still what just happened. The whole group needs to know except Thixus about this.
All right, so you guys leave Anna Cromwell to like deal with the repairs of the ship. Let's switch over to Nimue, Sela, and Murderbeard. You guys head up the kind of the steps of the temple. I can't remember if you guys. I think you guys have briefly been in here before in the game. It's sort of like a very large tower, like. I don't know what the like correct term for this piece of architecture is. Pagoda style, big, tall, Japanese looking tower thing. you head in there. The like large central chamber is has a number of like little individual shrines kind of like set around to some of the various like spirits and things that the Naporian people like pay tribute to. Minako is in the chamber as you guys come in. She sees you and immediately like steps away from what she was doing and she comes over and kind of nods and she says, I think she gave her she has like a British accent if I remember correctly. She says, you've returned to the island. I have you seen your father yet?
Not yet. There are some more pressing matters first before I get around to that. I guess let's do the easy thing first. And I look at Sela. What is it exactly you needed again?
Oh my god. It pulls up the spell again. I'm looking to ask the nature spirits a question about the next 7 days, but in order to do so, I need some incense and a sacrificial offering worth about 25 gold pieces. And I don't have any money because I gave it to Dykes. But Nimue, can you spot me?
Yeah, I can absolutely spot you. It's okay.
She smiles and she says, I don't think that will be necessary. I think the nation of Naporia can spot you on this one.
Oh, thank you.
She says the incense will be no problem. She says, as for your sacrifice, are there parameters to the type of sacrifice you require for this? She says, typically, she kind of gestures around you, and she says, none of our traditional rituals include the slaughter of animals or living things of that nature. She says we have several rituals in which we and she goes over to like an alcove where there's like a whole bunch of little like little bonsai trees. She goes, we tend these, and we have several rituals in which they are ignited and burned ritualistically. Would this suffice?
Damn, I wanted to sacrifice a fish. Yes, that works just fine.
She's like, we can get you a nice fish if just like, I just don't have. She's I have this little tree here. We'd have to go get you a fish. I'm not here to step on. I'm not trying to like harsh your whole religious thing.
Oh my god!
It's less about the religion and more just about the tree is fine.
She's like, I can send someone to get you.
Just one of those. There are those very nice fish that are in the ponds, and they have the sort of gold and white splotches.
Oh.
And the little yes, the whiskers. They look like gold coins in the sun.
She says, "Oh, yes, I suppose. Let's say there's like a fountain like out the front of the temple that you guys pass together." She's like,
they're everywhere.
Have at it, I suppose.
I think that will work best because I won't get into it, but
she's like, I appreciate that. I'm a vegetarian.
You save your tree.
Cubby. As the incense, there's like little incense burners like near all these various shrines. She just goes and like collects some and is able to like bring you. She says, this should be perfectly suitable for your rites.
May I do this on the island? And I'll point in whatever direction the island with
like
the
out into the harbor.
Dude.
Yes.
Like the one we go to for our.
She says after your actions there, during the rites of passage, you are more than welcome on the islands, the island shrine anytime you wish to go there. Yes.
Thank you. I am going to go get the fish. If anyone
Oh,
wants,
okay.
if anyone wishes to join me, I will be heading there in a bit. I have to pick which fish is the most asshole-ish of the group.
Had to get to know him. Speed date. The worst one to get sacrificed. Amazing. Thank you, Minoko-sama. I am sure she's very happy right now.
Make a perception check. No, make an insight check, Sela.
Me? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Oh my god. This dice. Oh, okay. 15.
Okay. You see, like, as you kind of look in this koi pond, you see that there is, like, a koi that has, like one of its, like, koi whiskers is, like, partially missing, and it's got a bunch of, like, scales missing from where it seems like it's a very aggressive koi that it, like, messes with other fish. So if you're looking for, like, the fish that is a jerk, maybe that one is your target.
Episode title: Aggressive Koi.
Aggressive koi.
Yeah, I'll put my face down right before I'm about to grab it, like, to the water, and I'll grab it and pull it up and be like, you shouldn't have been fighting your friends. This day is about to get real bad for you. With
It
my
goes like-
speech of beastably. And I'm gonna start heading down.
Okay.
Making my way.
Make my way.
Yes, that's right. You make your way back to the docks, walking fast, Naporian's Pass, and you're fish murder
This
bound.
fish is gonna die soon, yeah.
We can't keep doing that same joke tonight. We have to stop.
My
So you guys,
can't stop myself, sorry.
Nimue, as you say, like, she's very happy. You hear like swoosh, swoosh, swoosh of Sela, like, tromping into the fountain out front, like they like of her grabbing a fish, and then she just, like, walks off down the hill, leaving you and Murderbeard and Minako, who is like, oh my. She says, yes, there was something else you needed.
Right. Well, Captain.
Yeah. I'll.
Where do we start?
For the sake of time, should we just?
You
just
can
started
give me
taking off his
the. You can give me the.
Taking off his jacket.
Yeah,
I
so
can't
we definitely do, like, sort of a montage of you guys, like, pointing and gesturing and explaining, but, like, give me the gist of, like, what you tell her and what you're asking her, because I don't know what it is you're, like, looking for from her exactly.
I think because it is primordial, if anything that he's said, like, resonates in, like, our folklore or history or urban legends or something along those lines, because we've established that it's a contract of some sort, but it was
Okay.
thrust upon on the prefaces of, like, death, like it's death or this. So it
Gotcha.
felt coercive. It's almost tricky, but it's definitely, like, at least water primordial, and that's what Nimue picked up.
Sure.
for
Okay.
anything else that
Basically, do you have
murder-
any idea what this might be and what it means?
Yeah.
Okay, make a, I mean, you don't have to, like, persuade her, but, like, I want you guys to make the roll. So, like, why don't you
Okay.
guys to determine, like, because, like, I want sort of the fate of this to be in your hands. So, like, why don't you guys make a history check at advantage to, like, sort of
okay.
represent what she can kind of tell you based on this.
Just one of us or both of us?
Just one of you.
Do you want to do it?
The higher is an 18.
Okay, so with an 18, here's what she is able to tell you. She says, you know, sort of explain all this to her. She looks at these tattoos, and she says, I am not familiar with your particular situation. I have never heard of such a thing. There is, to my knowledge, nothing in our history or our mythologies that mimics or sounds like this. I will certainly attempt to uncover anything that I can in scrolls and tomes that we have here that may lead to more, but what I can tell you, at least, if certain aspects of what you have described are accurate, I will share with you at least some of what Naporians believe to be true about the nature of our world. She says, everything that exists was, at some point, born into existence by a cosmic force that is unknowable to mortal kind. But everything has an essence. The essence of all things stems from what Naporians believe to be spirits, things that guide us, guide nature, guide rivers to flow in the direction that they will, guides mountains of fire to erupt, guides the tide in and out. We believe that when the world was created, creatures shaped these things, creatures from which these spirits that inhabit everything took form. These are the creatures which Nimue has referred to as primordial beings. Beings made literally of the pure essence of creation. Over time, mortals rose and other beings came into existence, what other races might refer to as their gods. And we believe that after eons of time, creating the world and setting it upon its path, the primordials receded. They went to a place deep and far away to sleep, and it is through their dreams and the shiftings of their slumber that the spirits which we interact with guide us to live in harmony with the natural order of the world. She says, Kalishtar, Naporians like Nimue, who are lucky enough to be bound with one of these spirits, we believe have a direct connection all the way back to the very essence of these primordial beings, the very soul of our world. What you describe, Captain, seems like a very similar experience. Perhaps what you have encountered is a different type of bond with a primordial being, or with one of the great spirits of this world of ours. Naporia is certainly not the only people or the only place on this world in which primordial essences and spirits reach out even today. Though I cannot speak to the origins of this discovery that you've made, or the nature of this bond that you have formed, I can at least see the similarities between this and what our people experience, what our people refer to as becoming a soul-touched, a Kalishtar, a transformation that takes place that takes one and makes them as Nimue is. don't know how much that helps, but that is what I would offer you.
I think the next best bet is Terra Libra, because this tracks, but it's not enough.
She says, I believe that is a wise decision. And your father, Nimue, myself, and
Hachiro?
Koshiro. Hachiro is the
Koshiro.
swordsmith.
Hachiro's the yeah, Koshiro.
Yes, myself, your father, and Master Koshiro have been speaking. We have some thoughts on that matter as well, as it refers to the Ordinum Libri. But I believe I believe your father wishes to discuss that with you before you depart. So I'll not say any more on the matter.
Okie dokie. Understand. Yeah. Is that everything? Am I forgetting anything, Captain? Alright. Thank you. Isma.
She nods. Cool. Alright. So
Let's go try and find Sela.
so Sela, we'll hop out to you. You get like, you get yourself out to the island however you do it, whether you get a little boat or whether you turn into a sea creature and swim your way out there. You're able to make it out there, while the others are kind of doing their thing. So you get out to this island. You find yourself in front of the shrine that looks much as it has before. It's been tended. You see some fresh offerings have been brought out, and you are able to kind of settle yourself in and prepare for your ritual.
Yeah, so the thought process, there's like a couple things, because like, number one, technically, like, this is one of the additional druid spells, and so it's like normally a cleric spell, so the language is like very like religion based, but still doesn't really like have a religion. So the thought process with wanting to kill a fish is that, like, one, when there was bloodshed happening on the island before, it woke up that nature spirit and made it get all hype. So maybe this will help wake it up a little bit, because that's who she's asking. But number two, also, like, Scylla is not like a, like, oh my god, like, frolic in the forest druid. Like, for her, it's very much like a rabbit that lives on the plains might think its life is sacred, but to a lion, it's just another meal kind of thing.
Sure.
So she will set up, like, all of the incense and stuff, and, like, is basically trying to ask the nature spirits that, like, have kind of, like, coalesced in this geographical space, whether, so it says, ask a single question concerning a specific goal, event, or activity to occur within 7 days. The GM offers a truthful reply. The reply can be a short phrase, cryptic rhyme, or an omen. It doesn't take into account any possible circumstances that could change the outcome, like the casting of additional spells or loss or gain of a companion. But she wants to ask if in the next 7 days, will the Grimm's Folly be the target of sabotage?
Okay.
And, like, I'm hoping that, like, asking if the Grimm's Folly is going to get sabotaged in the next 7 days will, like, at least help us know if there's, like, something else on board other than the crab. But again, like, the wording, I don't know.
Okay.
That's what I got.
Okay, do you have to roll anything or anything like that, or you just sort of get this response?
No, the magic, it just puts you, the magic and offering puts me in contact with a god or a god's servants. Or, I mean, I think it's fair to say
You're attempting to talk to
like,
the spirit of the
a
island.
spirit, yeah.
Absolutely. Yes.
And I ask a single question.
Okay.
About the next 7 days.
Cool. All right, I'm going to answer that as the spell is written. But I also, because you've kind of like you've made some interesting setup here, and the idea of like the fish sacrifice in this island, I think is interesting. I want to up the stakes a little bit. So the spell will work as intended, but I also want you to roll a, let's call it a nature check, of DC 20.
Okay, I have inspiration from somewhere that I will use if I
Okay.
fuck up.
If you make that check, something additional will happen.
Oh my god, it's literally 1 off. Okay, hold on.
Oh, I gotta say, so your first roll was a 19?
Yeah, I literally have a +4 and it was a 15. So... Big boy, let's go. Okay, that's an 18 plus 4, 19, 20, 21, 22.
Okay.
Jesus. I gotta get rid of this inspo. I don't know where that's from. I think it's from chat. I don't know what I did.
That's fine.
It was your birthday.
Oh, right, yeah, it was my birthday.
There you go. So your birthday dice. You kind of like put this question towards like sort of the spirit of the island. And you get back a sensation at first that kind of sounds to you like the creaking of wood, you know, either like the creaking of wood of the deck of the ship, or the creaking of wood of like a very old tree, sort of like shifting. And that kind of resolves itself in your mind into like what you kind of interpret as like something sort of like rousing. And the incense like burners and stuff like that on the shrine, the smoke like coils up and sort of begins to like take shape and coalesces into this sort of like nebulous cloud in the center of the shrine. And the interior of this like cloud sort of begins to like illuminate with these almost like seems like random firings of like color. And you hear a you hear a voice in your mind says, "Your ship is safe." But you sense that this presence is still, for the moment, like roused and is paying attention to you.
Ooh, okay. I need to ask it about the crab. What am I gonna ask it about the crab? Oh my god. Sorry, I'm like, oh. What is... Can I just ask it outright? Should I just really ask it, like, what made this fucking crab be sentient? Should I just do that, guys?
Do
I
it.
don't know.
Just do it. You have its attention. Like, go big or go home.
What made the crab that was on our ship capable of sentient thought?
We are an island. We have no knowledge of those events. We can feel your vessel in our waters, and we sense no danger to it. But beyond these events, we do not know.
Oh my god. Okay, guys, is there... It has to be something that's on the island. That-
you can sense that this entity is like beginning to sort of like drift back into its like sort of pseudo slumber.
Wait. Okay, hold on. I just thought of
Probably
something.
have like one more thing you can kind of like ask it.
I have to ask. Okay, so when after the island spirit rose for the first time, we were all like meditating on it. Scylla was the one who got the vision of the tree,
Spoke
and
to Nimue.
Osrius
Spoke to Nimue, I believe.
spoke to Nimue. No, I know the spirit spoke to Nimue, but then there was also separately because a bunch of us were hanging out on this island, and I know that Scylla was trying to connect. I don't remember if it was Scylla that got the vision of like two people, and it was literally like the fairest fair thing.
I think it was me, but I definitely told everybody about it.
Yeah, that happened to Nimue.
Okay.
It happened to Nimue, and then she drew the symbols and things that she saw in Thexus's notebook as she explained it to us.
Like she drew like the tree.
She drew like what she could remember seeing of the whole vision as best she could, and it told us what she saw.
All right, I'm gonna go real crazy and just see what happens when I do this. Scylla will she's basically like in a trance right now, but like her body just reacts, and she basically like takes the blood from the fish and begins drawing those symbols in the dirt on the island, and puts her hand in the middle of it and says, "Where can I find this or learn more about it?" Ah!
It's quiet for a while as it tries to figure out how to answer your question. I think it says.
If you need to come back to it, that's
no,
fine.
here's what it says. Blind hermit. He is the last bastion of a god disconnected from us longer ago than mortal races can fathom. Find the blind hermit, or his last hope. There will be your end.
Wait, you said it said find the blind hermit or his last, and then it started cutting out a little bit.
It's last hope, and then you think it kind of said like there, like that's where your answers will be or something like that, but like it like basically falls asleep talking to you.
Yeah.
And that smoke just loses cohesion and floats away.
Damn. I did not realize. I did not know what to ask it. That's the first thing I thought of.
That was great. That was smart.
No, that was so important.
Brilliant.
Because it's connected him. Like they showed that to me.
Yeah, now we know blind.
Now we
hermit.
have a little bit more context.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna head back
Another
home.
clue.
Back,
You're good.
I'm
GG.
heading back to the main island.
Cool.
GG, Scylla.
So let's call it evening time now. And you guys kind of like everybody it's like you're able to reconvene on the I guess not necessarily on the Grimm's Folly, right? Like you kind
No,
of
I'd say we'd all meet back at my dad's place because that's where we were staying.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. You guys can all head up to the northern area number 1 there, sort of northwestern portion of the map where the let me change the music to something less ominous. The portion of the map where the Marshall School is.
It was perfect music for that moment, though. It was awesome.
Yeah, you're absolutely able to sort of gather up there. So, I in your hands. You guys are all together again.
So guys, for future, we need to stop being mean to Anna. I was wrong. She's not as bad as I thought. She's a little off. I'll talk to the girls about that later. We need a girls chat, but she's okay.
We? I've never been mean to her.
You're mean to everybody.
I feel like we do like a smash cut to like just like a disembodied scene where it's like early one morning and like Anna Cromwell is like on the deck with like a cup of coffee and Murderbeard just like comes up and like knocks it out of her hands. And then we just cut back to the group. Like,
He doesn't remember at all.
Yep.
He just goes, and he goes, mop that up. Non-canon. That's.
I wasn't particularly mean to her. I just didn't talk to her.
We weren't like. I mean, Texas and I were being kind of sassy earlier, but like, we should.
I mean, we said we would kick her ass if you wanted us to, but you
Yeah, I
said
don't want to, so let's just leave
Yeah.
her be. She does a good job.
Didn't I tell you a few weeks ago not to act rashly, and you told me that you never did?
It's a blind spot in my actions. People from home are a little triggering. We'll work on that, but
I feel you.
I communed with the spirit on the island.
much more important than what I was talking about.
With
Please
what?
explain.
You were able to talk
That
to the
fast?
spirit of the island?
Mm-hmm.
What did
What
it
did
say?
it? Yeah, what did it tell you?
The ship will be fine for the next 7 days.
What's good?
Wait, alright, I'm literally blacking out because I was so nervous. What was the second question that I asked it, guy?
You asked it like
it
what
was
caused
like,
what
I'm
caused that
only-
to happen
What
with
was
the
the
crab.
crab?
You were like,
I
what was
was
the deal
like,
with the
the
crab?
crab.
And it,
Yeah.
yeah, and it was like,
It
I'm an
couldn't-
island. I don't know about that.
It was like, girly, I'm right here.
Just an
Um,
island.
It couldn't tell me why the crab, or like, was the way that it was, or what made it sentient. But then I asked it about the visions that Nimue saw after the first fight,
Oh,
and where to find more information. And it told me to seek the blind hermit. And that the blind hermit is the remnant of a god. And we need to find its last hope to learn more about it. I was in a trance and I was nervous and I didn't know what to ask it, so I went with something that I thought it might know.
oh my god, Phil, I'm so jealous. That's so cool that you got it to talk again. It's incredible. That's like never happens here. You'd be a celebrity in Naporia if you told people.
I can do it again tomorrow.
Oh my god.
I won't do that.
Aw.
It fell asleep mid-sentence, so I will leave it
Oh,
alone
this-
for a bit.
Why are these entities always so cryptic? Why can't it just be like, look for Dan?
Is it that the entity is cryptic or we are too simple to understand what it is saying?
Both. Definitely both.
They're really old. They spoke differently back then.
You know, to an ant, a person who is about to step on its hill seems very complex too, but that is just because it is an ant. And it cannot fathom that the world exists beyond the ground. We are the ants.
Yep, that tracks.
But I need a minute.
We talked to the spiritual leader. She couldn't give us too much, but she's pretty convinced that whatever is attached to Murderbeard is a similar but different type of bonding to an ancient spirit like ours.
Something that is more awake.
Somehow.
Yeah, probably, if it's making deals with people.
But that's not. She couldn't think of anything in particular that would resonate with that. Ours aren't like that. I mean, I have tattoos, but they're not chains to hold me down. They enhance. What's with that face, Sila? What do you got going on?
The chain tattoos. I feel like we were all very quick to assume that they mean some sort of enslavement or unwilling servitude to whatever the spirit is, but
To be fair, we were on a slave ship, so we've kind of got some trauma attached to that. So it's a very
That
easy
I
knee-jerk
understand.
reaction.
but the links of a chain can also help people do things that they wouldn't normally be able to do, and they hold things together.
I mean, if he was going to die, it might be holding him together. Literally.
Cool, that makes me feel so much better.
Well,
You know-
we just go to the library, they'll tell you everything. I'm sure it's fine.
Not to put you on the spot, but when before getting these tattoos have you ever questioned the fate of your soul? It didn't ever seem to be something that you had asked about, and then all of a sudden you get these tattoos and it comes to mind. So perhaps it's not something that you're meant to ask about, you just need to accept it, like you've done for forever. I don't know. A chain doesn't have to be...
You're right.
A chain is different from a yoke around your neck.
What if the chain's like a metaphor for something else? Or perhaps it's... I've heard the phrase used, you don't want a weak link in the chain. Maybe each one of the links in the chain tattoo represents someone else who's afflicted by the same thing.
Oh, interesting. It
And-
could be a connection to something else for sure. Not just the primordial, could be others like you.
Many people don't ever know quite where their souls go when they pass on. You at least have a much clearer idea of where you're going when your time is done.
They end up as a moist ghost in somebody else's cabin.
Well, that's how he died. Unless you die in the water, you might not be moist. You might be burning.
Moist Ghost is a great band name, by the way.
Yeah, totally.
Murderbeard like hard locks eyes with Nimue and goes, "I'm gonna die moist."
Ugh.
Why is that your goal?
Except in my face.
Please, if somebody's watching, please clip that.
I'm gonna die moist.
Moist.
Don't you worry, Nimue.
Okay.
My bad.
That's my secret, Captain. I'm always moist.
Going to sleep now.
Anything else not awful that you guys need to do with your evening before we advance time to the
Not
morning?
awful?
Wait,
No.
Nimue, wait, hold on. Does Nimue need to talk to her?
I should
Dad.
probably talk to my dad. If it's too late, yeah,
Pretty
I'll
late.
talk to the kids. The kids are awake, or are the kids asleep already?
They're probably asleep at this point.
Yeah, then I'll
'cause
deal
they
with
get,
them in
like,
the morning. I'll go to
They're like
Dad
doing
before-
push-ups all day long or whatever.
Yeah,
Whatever it is that you do in your Naporian warrior training. Okay, so as you guys awake the next morning, there is there was like a message that has been left for you on a piece of like paper that has been sort of like pinned to the sliding door of your guys' chamber that you're staying in. That informs you that the Ordinum Libri have responded to the message that was left, that was sent out to them, and that this afternoon is when they plan to open a teleportation circle on the island of Naporia to like bring anybody who is here who's going to go to Terra Libra aboard. So you guys know that like you have, the next 6-7 hours to like go and do whatever you need to do on Naporia to like wrap up your business here.
I have like 2 main things I want to do, maybe 3.
Okay.
Probably just 2. I don't know about everybody else. Actually, 3. Yeah, 3 things I
Got
want to do.
nothing.
What'd you say, Murderbeard?
Okay, I go to my
I said
daddy.
I've got nothing. None that I particularly want to do.
For Nimue, what I will say is like when you go to look for Ray, he is out. He's not currently on the premises. But he has left fully lost the name of his like second in command in the scroll here. But his like second in command who you spoke to previously says like he left word before he went out for the day. He's in the meetings finalizing some things with the other elders. But he told you that he will meet you before your party is all set to depart. He wishes to have a conversation with you before you go.
That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go back to like our family home.
Okay.
I don't know if that's like on the property with
You
like the warrior
you tell
training.
me. You tell me. I don't think this is my place to tell you. I think you tell me where it is.
I definitely think it's like on the same acreage of it, but not visible. It's probably hidden by trees or like a watermark, whether it's a waterfall or like river or whatever.
Okay.
So she probably has to go a little bit around the like towards the back of the school to get to it. There's a path.
Sure.
And she'll go up.
When's the last time you were back here, Nimue?
Probably the day my brother disappeared.
Okay. So
Didn't
you
see it unless-
were on Naporia for at least a little while before you also left after Aiden vanished.
Yeah.
But you have not not come back here. Okay.
No, I think she was really focused on training and probably slept at the school and was trying to, but it didn't work.
Okay. So what I will say is you kind of come here. That is something that you also know sort of to be true of your father, although for a much longer period.
Mom.
A much longer period of time. Like since since your mother passed, you kind of know that your father sort of slept in his office type of thing, was at the school, rarely came back to the house. But you approach it, looks just as you remember leaving it. It's there, quiet.
I will go up and open one of the sliding back doors and go in. And where do I want to go first? I'm avoiding it, so I'm avoiding Aiden's room first. So I'm gonna go to my mom's room.
Okay. Make an insight check as you enter into the house in general, and then go towards your mother's room.
15.
Okay. The house is in perfect order. There is not a dish or a there's a small bowl with water with an orchid in it on the center table in the main room. There's not a speck of dust anywhere in the room here. You go through the sort of main room into the room that was your parents shared, and similarly you see everything is in perfect order. The bedroll on the ground is has been freshly pressed, is laid out, is perfectly arranged. The sort of like folding vanity screen is off to, to one corner. You see there is like on a sort of a hook next to it there is like a like a silken robe that you remember your mother wearing is in position. It's a little like obsessively meticulous. You guys, it's sort of like what you take in.
All right, Mama. Aiden is still a pain in the ass, and so is your husband. But I'm going to need a little moral support going forward, because I've been running. And that's not fair to you, either. So I'm going to go to one of her closets, and I'm going to pull out one of her favorite obis, which is something that wraps around for a kimono.
Okay.
It's like oceanic design with like long. It's a very like so stupid. There's like a long dragon, but it's like like almost like a not D&D dragons. They're more like serpent-like.
Yeah.
Think Spirited Away.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like of course the cherry blossoms, which are like it was made here.
Sure.
And so she's gonna take the obi sash and put it in her bag for now. And kind of like make sure that I clear the kimono of any wrinkles that I might have added to it, so like they can't tell other than the missing obi, and shut the door.
Okay.
Now I will go to Aiden's room.
Okay. I'm not gonna make you continue to make rolls. What you find as you go in there is the same thing. Like this room is being maintained. I think as you continue to walk through the house, like you start to get the sense that like this room, like the house is being kept as like a shrine, essentially. Everything is perfectly ordered and as it was. Were your brother to walk in the door 5 minutes from now, after having been training up at the school.
I would like to try to do an investigation check of my brother's room, because I didn't do it when he first left. I didn't look for a diary, I didn't look for clues, I just looked around the house and looked around the island for him. Like, I didn't try to think too hard about it. I was just convinced that I needed to follow him in order to find him, because that was the feeling. So I would like to try and make a mess of my brother's room, and I don't care how messy I make it.
Okay.
I'm gonna fucking flip this room.
Make an investigation check.
It's not great. 11.
You toss the place pretty thoroughly. But
Oh, sorry, 10. It's a +2. Sorry.
That's okay. You toss the place pretty thoroughly. But if there was anything to find, it has either been like
Cleaned up.
tidied up, or the passage of the intervening time has sort of marked it away. You don't find anything that necessarily gives you like a clue. I think what you do sort of find is even in your sort of like frustration, you kind of feel this like sense of contentment growing within you, and it's that familiar sense of like an emotion that seems to be like coming from within you but is beside you, that you have you sort of long have associated with this other entity that shares your physical space.
Yeah. I think when I feel that, I get angry.
Okay.
And I like stop what I'm doing. I probably throw his pillow across the room, and I look down at like the tattoos like wrapping around my arm. I'm like, well, then tell me what to do. Do you have a better idea? Thought not. I'll just storm out to the kitchen where my mom's shrine is, like a little portrait of.
Mhm.
Light a couple incense and just sit and just glare.
Make a. Just roll a d20. I can't figure out what to attach to this roll.
I think that's a 14 solid.
Okay. Make a contested roll. Natural 20. You sit down at your mother's shrine, and you sort of like you're doing the motions now, right? Like you're at the
Yeah.
shrine because but you're like nostrils flared, you're pissed,
Yep.
and you feel this other like essence sort of like wells up in you, and a like arid feeling of like an arid warm breeze sort of like it's almost as if like an invisible hand made of like dry hot air just sort of like lightly smacked you in the face.
Wow.
Not hard enough to be like but like
Yeah.
enough that like your head sort of turns from it a little, and you feel this sense again, you feel that sense of like contentment in like, you know, you sort of can't had this moment of like coming to peace that like you've sort of been running, and you know you're gonna take this piece of your mother with you, and you're looking to figure out what drove Aiden from here. And you connect that sense of contentment of like, yes, I'm trying to listen and to think like what sent him from here? Where did he go? I'm trying to find the clues. And then you get angry at the sensation of like this thing inside you being like, yes, I approve of this. And then you feel in turn this thing, so it's like, then you get angry at this thing, then this thing, which is also still you, gets angry back at you and goes like, almost as if to be like, I'm trying to tell you something, idiot. And then it sort of like, as quickly as it came, it like recedes, as if like that was all it could sort of muster.
This is so on track for my life. Okay, I'm sorry. Sorry, Mama, you didn't need to see that. I love you. I'm going now. I'll get up and like pout my way out the door.
Okay. You head out the door. You said you had 3 stops you wanted to make, right?
Yeah, well, the third one is
your father.
Dad.
Okay.
Yeah, the third one's Dad. So the second one, I'm gonna go check on the twins, make sure that they're okay, and let them know that like we're gonna be going to the library, but we'll be back. Keep doing what you're doing. I just want to check on them, make sure they're okay.
Yeah, easy enough. You head back to the school. In one of the like training yards, you see the 2 of them with a group of other like similarly aged Naporian children are in the process of like going through some katas and various motions. Let me double check that I don't mix up the name.
Kenna?
No.
Kivo and
They're
Kenna.
Ogatumbe.
Oh.
Ogatumbe is like in the yard as well. He's like kind of off to the side, sitting in a little chair, like drinking some tea, just sort of like observing this. As the instructor is sort of like, you sit down. He sort of nods to you, and he says, "Welcome back, Lady Nimue. I trust your journey was productive."
Very productive, very dangerous, almost died. We're still all alive. Ships are a little messed up, but it's okay. We're still here. Have the kids.
He gestures. He says, Kivo is, I think, bored of the rigors of this training program. Miss Kenna has taken to it quite adeptly.
That does not surprise me. On both counts.
He says, but the children are, more than anything else, dedicated to one another. The boy knows that this is good for his sister. He will stay.
Yeah. We understand each other. They're all each other have now.
He says, in a way. Gestures towards the other children, gestures towards the instructor, gestures at you. Says, in some ways, they have many people.
They do. It's going to take them a little longer to realize that. Kenna especially so.
I believe she will come around.
Well, they're going to be here at least a few days more longer. I'm not sure what the plan is going forward, but for a little while anyway, they'll stay here while we go to the library. But we'll be back.
He kind of nods. He says, that is perfectly fine with me. I am fond of the two of them, and I have had my fair share of adventures in my life. I am happy to sit and drink tea.
Did my father give you money yet? You know, to take care of them, get them like a bunch of new clothes, some toys.
He says, your father has largely, what's the word I'm looking for? Bypassed. Your father has largely bypassed the necessity of currency transactions.
Oh, right.
It seems he mostly has the authority to simply attain them the things
Just
he
get it,
needs.
yeah. Okay, that's good. He's listening to me. Yeah, I'll just sit and watch them until their training session's done.
Okay. Yeah. So you do that. You see. Kimo unfortunately gets like corrected a lot of times. Like his footwork is not good. You know, and the Naporian training regimen is not particularly like lackadaisical. But he takes it all in like, in good enough stride. Kenna, you kind of perceive her to be probably one of the like better students in this group, which is like, considering she's not been here that long, and like some of these children have been, probably training for quite a bit longer as they're natives to the island.
She wasn't even born here.
Right. She's, advancing. You still see within her though, like, the thing that your father expressed, that like there is more to like being a lunar warrior and to this fighting style than like simple mechanical martial prowess. There is the necessity of like the tranquility of mind that comes with being like a proper warrior. And like he told you, he sees in her that is going to be her problem, and you can still see that too. Is that she's like she's attacking this like her learning as if she is trying to like push through it on like being fueled sheerly by like rage. And it's working to a degree, but like well enough that's only going to carry her so far. When she eventually starts getting against opponents who are a match for her skill and are not like blinded by that aggression, it's going to be a big problem.
Yeah.
But they wrap up. They're kind of they're just sort of milling about with the other kids. Do you call over to them?
Yeah,
Or-
I wave at them.
Okay, you sort of wave. Kivo smiles and starts to jog over. And Kenna is being surly, and he gets halfway to you and turns back, and he's rolls his eyes and he runs back and he goes and drags his sister over. And he says, did they have little baby French accents? I think they did, right? He says, hello, Miss Nimoy. How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys doing? You guys look so good out there.
He says, I cannot get my balance on the third position. I keep falling down. But it's okay. It's kind of like it better than the boat. I didn't like the boat was. It made me feel dizzy a lot.
Well, I was thinking, do you guys know how to swim?
Oh yes.
Okay. Do you guys want to go on a secret little field trip? It's not very far, but it is my secret hideaway.
Kivo looks at his sister, and his sister's and he goes okay.
Okay.
Here we
I'm
go.
gonna lead them back past the family home.
Okay.
There is a small stream that runs back there, and it widens as it goes past. I'm gonna take them into it looks like just underbrush, but as you get closer, there's a small hole that kids could have easily crawled through if they wanted to. I'm gonna have to really squeeze my way through here and probably use my Naginata to make it a little wider. But it pretty much takes us probably a good 30 to 40 feet of this wild bush and trees, and then when you get out on the other side, there's this rock bank that goes down into where the stream was coming in, and it's flowing quite rapidly on the other side, but there's a shallow piece, a sandbar, and then on the other side where it's flowing rapidly, there's a small waterfall, and this is our secret swimming hole
Okay.
that Christy had in real life as a child.
There you go. So the two children kind of, take this in. I'm gonna make an insight check.
18.
Okay. Kivo's immediately oh, and he kicks his shoes off and whatever, and he immediately goes and jumps in and is swimming. Kenna, you watch her take this space in, and you see a slow and careful contemplation of this place. And she sort of turns to you. And in as much as she's able to do this without having the psionic ability, you get the sense that she's trying to mentally knock on the door to get you to
I will
talk to
open
her.
the mind link. What do you think?
She says, "How did you find this place?"
My mama showed it to me when I was really, really little. Maybe even younger than you guys are now. But she couldn't always come back here because, you see how overgrown it is. So me and my brothers would come here every summer. And summer lasts a long time here. But every summer, we come down here, and you see that flat rock over by the waterfall? It gets really warm in the summer. So you just lay in the sun, and it feels so good. And then when you get too hot, you jump in the water. And then the sandbar makes it easy so you can touch. But if you don't want to touch, you can go over there.
She says, "Who else knows of you?"
Just my brothers, and now you. This was our secret place, and I'm pretty sure my brothers don't come here anymore because they're way bigger than me. They're too cool for that. So really, and my mom was gone too, so she's not coming around to bug us. The boys aren't coming around to bug us. It's just you two and me. And if you want to kick me out, I'm okay with that too.
She kind of turns away from you and continues her like examination of the place. She too very carefully like takes off her sandals, sets them precision like on the sort of shore of this water. And she takes like an exploratory step in, sort of stands for a while. And eventually she turns back to you, and in your mind you hear her say, "It is quiet here."
Very quiet here. I mean, sometimes, I don't think it happens anymore, but when we were younger, like, there's a farmer over on, like, that side of the island, and sometimes, like, their sheep would come over, and I'd have to chase them away. But I don't think they're still there anymore, but they might be. So if you're okay with sheep.
She doesn't really respond to you. She kind of turns away, and she, like watches to where Kivo is like in the distance of this whole conversation. Kivo is like, "Look at this," and he's like doing like belly flops and stuff like into the water. She looks to where he's.
I forgot to mention there is a rope that hangs like off one of the trees that you can swing off of. It's not on the waterfowl side; it's on our side.
As she like turns away from you, her brother comes like swings by, like let's go, splishes into the water, and she watches him sort of do this with this kind of like blank expression on her face, and she goes into the water and sort of like swims out across to that like that rock that you had, you pointed out to her. And she sort of like scrambles up onto it, and she just sort of like kind of pulls herself and pulls her legs up like crisscross applesauce onto this rock, and she just sort of like sits and stares like away from you towards the direction of the waterfall. And you don't get the sense that she is like going to come and like continue any conversation with you.
Definitely.
Her brother comes up, and he says, "Is it okay if we stay in this place for a while, even after you have to go to your
Of course,
things?"
I was going to just let you guys have some time just to be kids and hang out and be by yourselves, have some privacy.
He says, he kinda,
Just
like,
be
grunts.
safe, and if you need help, scream. It's not that far from the house.
He says, "Okay, we will do that if we have a problem." And he like smiles. He says, "Thank you for showing us this place. It is
You're most
we come
welcome.
here
You
every
guys can
day."
use it anytime you want. Except for maybe one that's like thunder and lightning, because that's kind of dangerous with the trees, but... Anytime else, although, it should be fine.
And he kind of nods, and he's like grinning at you, but you can see that he's like,
Go on, go, go.
and he goes and he runs, like
All
leaps
right.
out, grabs
I'll
onto that like rope, starts swinging. As
just
you
get my feet in before I start backing out
okay,
the
so
way
you
I
get your feet in.
came.
As you back out the way that you came, make an insight check for me.
Okay. Let's use my Naporia die. Not very good. 9, 10, 11, 12.
12. You kind of back out of the space, and you sort of like just looking. Kivo is just like horsing around in general. Kenna has not really moved from that rock. She's still kind of got her face away from you. But you kind of notice as you like back out, just as you leave the clearing and leave sight of them, you see like almost imperceptibly, you just see like her shoulders drop like 2 inches. Slightly, like some of the tension like eases out. And then you back out of the clearing to the growing,
really
like the
lucky
more distant growing
Yeah.
sounds of like splashing of Kiva like run around going nuts.
I really love that rock, but it's not being used, so it has to be used. Alright. The rock has been passed on. And I will head back to my party since my father is busy.
Does anybody else want to do anything on Naporia today before we sort of like gather the departure here and get Papa Nimue into the situation here?
Light literally everything on fire.
Okay, roll.
Alright.
Just
kidding.
Roll for fire!
Roll for arson.
Roll
Okay.
for arson, yeah.
All right. Yeah. If nobody has anything,
Rowan would probably just go say hi to Hachiro and
Sure.
Zen.
Oh, yeah.
Not,
Oh, yeah, I should-
not really. I don't need a conversation or anything. Just that every time she
I'll
comes,
go with
she
you. Yeah.
shows
You
some
when
respect.
Rowan, when you head up there, we'll say this: when you head up there, the two of them are like gathering up like a little like. Well, as the two of them are not. Hachiro is like sitting on his stump, like instructing, as Zen is like gathering essentially like a bag lunch. You see, like, it seems like they're getting ready to like go, like leave the forge and go somewhere, and like set out and like eat a meal. And as you
Aw.
kind of come up, Hachiro comes. He says, "Ah, good. If you are here, it means we have not missed it yet."
Did you need something, Hachiro?
Of course I need something. A portal is going to open up on our island. I want to see it.
Just yeah, that makes sense. I
He says, if
didn't know if
you
you
are
wanted to come
under
with
the...
us.
He says, no. Naporia is my home. But if you thought your departure was not going to be a spectacle, you are incorrect. And
Oh,
I am going to be very cross if I do not get a good seat, because someone could not find the nice blanket. And Zen comes out and he's like, I would have found it sooner if you had. Never mind. I've got everything. He says, Rowan, are you heading down to where the Ordinance people are going to show up? We're ready now.
Yeah, I just wanted to come say hello. And I'll lean into Zen. I'll go, I'll make sure you get a good seat. And I'll just wave and go. I was just going to say hello. I wasn't really for a purpose, just to go say
Okay.
hello.
So you just kind of say your hellos. You head off back. You know that they are like going to be shortly following behind.
Yeah, so I go whenever we get to the spot where we're all meeting with the Ordinance people. I'm going to stand obnoxiously in a space and make Thixus kind of stand like a few feet away from me, so we're blocking like a good seat from where we're expecting
Okay.
this portal to open. And then when they get there, I'll go to Zen and go like kind of like saving
So-
a spot on the beach when you're a jerk to other people.
for fireworks? You're like,
Yeah,
oh my
yeah,
God.
I found the spot. I found this. Yeah.
As you guys like begin to all gather from your various like chores for the day, you see that like a
Like,
fair crowd is
just
gathering.
spreads out a bunch of papers around so that way.
With
A
rocks
fair
on them, so
crowd.
don't fly away. With rocks on them, so don't fly
Yeah,
away.
A fair crowd has gathered in this, this sort of open field that I described to you when we did this scene sort of the first time. They're just milling about, kind of waiting. There's a large sort of open area where you know that the bookkeepers are going to open their portal because Aora Veshta is like over there and she's like cleared the space, and she's like drawn some like runes into the ground and stuff like that. Who kind of like demark where this is to happen. She's sort of like nervously standing over there, just like looking at the spot, waiting for this portal. Macrawl and the other orcs are in the area as well. They're all kind of just like sitting back on their like crouched on their haunches, just in a kind of like a resting sit crouch pose. A lot of the Naporians are giving them a little bit of a wide berth. You can see that Minako is already there, as is Koshiro. When Hachiro finally like toddles down after you, Rowan, you quickly realize that like your having saved him a seat was like unnecessary, as like he comes in with like Zen on his heel and everybody just like gets the hell out of his way. So he just like walks right up to like where he like decides he wants to sit, and he like kind of like looks and he like checks the light, and, like checks the wind, and he nods and he like points and sends like sets out a little
I want to be
area.
Hachiro when I grow up.
That is the goal.
Tykes shrugs and goes and picks up his papers.
Oh,
We tried.
so hard. I got so hard.
Okay. Anything else? Quickly. Already.
Kills Nimwe's family.
Jesus.
Do it.
So Nimue, you you know, you kind of like are heading down to to the area here. You can kind of like you're within sight of where like this all sort of gathering. But as you sort of go to make your way down there, you catch your father sitting at a like outside a little tea shop on like the main street here of the village, like overlooking where this is all going, and he's looking right at you as you come here. You can tell he's like clearly has like posted up here and was like waiting for you. And as you sort of like catch his eye, he gestures for you to come over.
I shuffle over.
He offers you to sit down. He there's like a teacup sitting at your place. He like lifts the teapot like just do you want? He pours for you, sets it back down. And he says, "Daughter, I apologize that I was indisposed before this, but it was the earliest that I could make the time to speak with you before you and your companions leave."
I'm used to you being busy.
He smiles, maybe a little ruefully, and he says, "I have two things that I wish to discuss with you, but in the spirit of not dominating our conversation. Before you leave, was there anything you wished to speak of with me?"
Not really. I mean, I should probably tell you I made a mess of Aiden's room.
He says, "Ah. Well, I have tried to keep the house in order. Perhaps out of a desire that when my scattered blossoms would one day return, they would find things hospitable. But perhaps if Aiden were to return and find his room a disaster, he would feel more at home."
That's true, but to be fair, I made it way more messy than he probably would have. But it's fine. He'll get over it.
He says, "I see. And was there a purpose behind your wanton destruction of your brother's room?"
Usually there's not, but this time there was. But I didn't find anything, so.
What were you hoping to find?
A clue. A reason. Something he might have maybe left me. Because that's what I would have done. But he
He
didn't.
says, he's thoughtful for a while, and he says, "If anything had been left that may have stood as a clue to his whereabouts, I would have thought I would have found it long before this."
No, I still think I would have found it, honestly.
He says, "Be that as it may. Perhaps Aiden did not wish for you to follow him, or perhaps he felt that he did not need to leave you a clue for you to find where he has gone.
Yeah, that's proved to be true. But still, I was hoping, like, just a message, be like, "Oh, I love you, but bye, bitch," or something.
He's like, you see that he's like about to be like language, but he like stops himself. And he goes, well, if nothing else, I am glad that you went to the house. I assume you paid your respects.
Of course.
Thank you. Are you like wearing that sash right now?
Nope.
Okay.
Purposely not.
Okay.
Nope. He's not gonna know it's gone till I'm gone.
Fair enough. Okay.
We're still on like learning terms with each other again.
Sure,
She doesn't want to
sure.
push it. Like she knows this is gonna like trigger him. So she's like, no, he doesn't need to know what else I did in the house. And just admit to what he'll see immediately.
Alright, so he sort of nods, and he seems to like he's waiting a minute to see if like you have anything else that you're like wanted to go before he like launches into his own spiel.
No, that was mostly like, hey, heads up, like when you go home, like it wasn't a burglar, it was me. And it's just Aiden's room.
He nods.
And there's 2 incense on Mom's shrine, but that are already burned.
Very well. Then the 2 things that I have for you. They are both requests.
Okay.
The first is this, and he reaches like down beside him into like a bag that he has with him. And he takes out a pretty hefty looking like manuscript, like kind of tri-folded over and like sealed with like the Naporian seal and like tied with like a silk ribbon. And he says, "This document was drafted by myself and the other elders of Naporia. It is for the Ordinem Librae. The document is 2 things. It is what it is, and it is what it represents. What it is a formal declaration of a willingness by the nation of Naporia to enter into the Ordinem Librae's agreement of neutrality and cooperative sharing of history and culture and knowledge." He says, "The reason for this is something is coming. I do not know what the future will hold, but it is the hope of the other elders and I that if the worst should happen, this is perhaps a way that some of what Naporia is may survive, even if," gestures around, "all of this does not." He holds up a hand and he says, "An insurance policy only." He says, "The other thing, what it represents, this is the more important piece. The Ignean Empire has broken its neutrality with the Ordinem Librae. While you were away, we have had word from the mainland. Upon the continent, they have also launched a massive ground invasion of the Kingdom of Mithlinde. Their armada sails to the south. Their armies march across the lands to the west. I do not know what this will hold, but it is my belief and the belief of the other elders that the peace that the Five Kingdoms have known for these many years is about to be at an end. By entering into an alliance with the Ordinem Librae, this secures Naporia allies. They are particular about their neutrality, and it is through this that Naporia will hopefully keep from antagonizing the Empire. They have information and the resources that can be shared with us in exchange for our knowledge and our history.
We have
Should the
never
time-
shared our history.
It says, we never have. But perhaps it is time. That is something that I am learning from you, daughter. Perhaps some of the old traditions have not been serving us as well as they once were.
I mean, at this point, we're already a target, but this might make the target much brighter. You know that, right?
He nods, he says, there are risks, but we are hoping that it will serve as more of a deterrent than it will a antagonization. He says, this brings me to my second request. I have, as I say, been thinking on the ways in which clinging to some of our traditions have perhaps not been serving us as well as they once might have. Lesson that I am learning, oddly enough, from your friends. I do not think that I ever would have believed that I would say my daughter sails across the seas of Aegeria with a group of pirates, and that I am proud of what she is doing. I am forced to think your crew, you yourself, you are breaking laws. You are fighting against what I once would have called proper authority and honor and tradition.
Wait. Back up. Say that one more time.
He says, you are fighting the establishment. He says, and I am forced to see through the actions of the Ignians that sometimes the establishment is evil.
Sometimes authority sucks.
He says, this is the lesson that I believe it has taken me a very long time to learn. I consider if I am proud of you now for fighting against the authority of the Ignian Empire, that perhaps in my strict adherence to traditions, I am responsible for driving your brother and you from our home. You are here now, daughter, and so I can say to you that I am sorry for years of not being the father that I should have been. for letting my grief over your mother and my unwillingness to waver in my dedication to the framework of rules by which I tried to control every aspect of my life. I can say to you that I am sorry for this, but your brother is not here for me to say it to him. So my second request to you is that when you find your brother, you tell him that I am sorry, and that I love him, and that if ever he wishes to come home, well, his room's messed up now, but it will be waiting for him.
Well, I know you don't want to hear this, but you are part of the reason why. I won't deny that. I also know I was not easy to raise without Mom. Mom knew me inside and out, and for a long time, you and I were strangers. But I was the child, you were the father, and you were not. That being said, though, I've seen how much you've changed. I see it. And it makes me really happy to hear you're proud of me, but I'm proud of you too. I'm very proud of you. I know... No, I don't know. I don't have a husband or a wife. I don't know what that's like. And I don't know what it's like to lose children after children. But I will promise you, and I know you don't want to hear this, but we are both coming back, or neither of us are coming back. So you will tell him yourself. He deserves that much, to hear it from your lips, not mine. He loves you. I know he does. We all do. But, as you said, sometimes authority sucks, and you're going to need to trust me now. Because I'm going to bring him home. Kicking and screaming, I don't care. He's coming home. I'm gonna kick his ass.
He says, I will do what I must here, and you will do what you must out there. And I look forward to the day that we can
Kick Aiden's ass together?
He says, I was going to say, begin to make up for a long, long time of estrangement.
Yeah, that's important too.
So he kind of looks at you for a while and make an insight check.
Oh boy, which dice? Oh, I'll give him the Naporia dice, because he's married to his work now. Oh, 19? I think my insight's a +3.
he
21?
looks at you. He looks at you for a while, and he's sort of quiet, and he just sort of goes like, oh yeah, they are beginning the portal. We should go.
Hold on.
And you
Are
just
you
like
crying?
you just see like like he's like a little misty. And he's like the portal quickly.
Oh,
He puts his tea
no.
down, and he begins he gets up and begins to like straighten his his.
I wish cameras were a thing so she'd take a picture, because she would. Wait, selfie, wait. Oh, thing.
So
I will give him a kiss on the cheek. And
he
I will
hugs
mind
you.
link with him, and I will say, if you find something missing from home, I'm sorry and I love you, and remember that you love me and you're super proud of me, and that's it. Okay, love you, bye!
he goes, hey, what? Hot portal, okay. And he follows you down. So
Yes.
that's okay. He's flustered by that. But he's
All
like,
of my shoes gone.
I should have like took out of the shoelaces or something stupid. Put flour in his bed.
Okay. So you guys head down. So the rest of you kind of gathered around this area. Everybody's waiting. You see Nimue and her father approach. Nimue has this like missive, this big old
Books.
roll of papers in her hand. And her father is like kind of coming behind her. He goes over to stand near the other two like elders of the island. And after a few moments, the portal begins to appear on two like pinpricks of blue light. Create almost like a domed archway on a spot. And then with a blink, it opens up, and you see an entirely different space on the other side of this opening that has no dimension. It is like a single flat line, as if you like go to walk around it. When you like walk to the side, it's like becomes completely invisible. And then as soon as you like go this way, you can then see into it. And on like either side that you look, you see the same space on the other side. And there's a group of people on the other side. Several of them come through, and as I had described to you last week, the one in the lead is that very large, sort of like metallic, non-organic individual who steps up to you guys and looks at the two of you, and with his eyes that are very much like the Iron Giant going like, grinning, he looks at you and he says, "Hi everybody, my name's Riker. Pleased to meet you. Are you ready to go to Terra Libra?"
I'm not gonna do the chair bit this time.
Fireballs, Riker, and the portal.
Oh no. Luckily, I'm immune to fireballs. Okay, everybody. Anyone going to Terra Libra? Right this way.
Hey,
And
go.
you guys all step through.
We go.
Everybody goes. Get to the other side. And exactly as happened the first time we saw this, there is a man waiting on the other side for you. He appears to be a half elf in heritage. You see the pointed tips of his ears sticking out from beneath two locks of his shoulder length, like perfectly coiffed, styled hair. He is wearing all black with like gold filigree, and he smiles at you and says, "Welcome to Terra Libra. My name is Torian Idrian. I have been waiting for you for quite some time, and we are going to do so many interesting things together." And that, the end of tonight's session.
Dorian Adrian. Is that supposed to mean something?
No, it is a thing that people do when they meet each other for the first time. They tell one another their names. A thing that the group of you do shockingly little in your travels.
I don't trust him, and I go back through the portal.
You try to go
No,
through
no,
it
no.
and
We
close
don't
it on
trust
you.
him. We don't trust him. We fireball him, then walk through the portal.
Yeah.
He's on the other
Fireball.
side of the portal.
Yeah, fireball. With all the books.
You
it's fine.
fireball,
No,
he
not all
counter
the books, not all
spells.
the books. Fixus and Rowan protect the books.
Okay, well, hey.
We did
Good session, everybody. We did it. Boop, boop. Gonna stop our music. Hey. Okay, well, hey, good session, everybody. Thank you guys for joining me tonight. Thank you guys at home for hanging out with us. I don't know if this is not today. I was gonna say, oh, we got a thing, a notification of a follower, but that was earlier. So yes, thank you for joining us for our session this evening. Thank you to our sponsors, Little Dragon Corp and Cardboard Castle Games. Tune in next Tuesday, I think. Trying to check here. Next Tuesday is the 31st of May. We will be on the Fool's Errand, I think, and then the week after that, I don't know. We're in the end game of like the two groups sort of colliding here. So we'll just sort of see how it plays out, and we will continue from there. So I have no other babbling to do. Thank you for joining me as always. And we will, of course, see you next Tuesday. Bye.
Love you, bye.